Welcome to Outlook Rendezvous. This is a program where we bring distinguished achievers from different fields who share their work, and today we have with us eminent oncologist Dr. Puneet Gupta. He is also an Indologist who has done a breakthrough in Harappan Code. So, Dr. Puneet, could you please share which was the moment this Harappan civilization got really interesting to you?
I had, my cancer patient walking in, and they had cancer of the tongue, some had the cancer of the hard palate, some had the cancer of the soft palate. So, these head and neck cancer patients, when I was examining them and when they were talking to me, I found that their geometry, their symmetry is affected. Sometimes the tongue is pulled back and they are not able to pronounce the very specific letters. Then I came to know that, okay, if the tongue is twisted to one side or tongue is pulled back and you are not able to speak something, so some of the biology is altered, the symmetry is altered. And then I realized, oh my God, this is something to do with the phonation, and the symmetry is very important, and the movement of the tongue and the relationship between the gum and the palate is very, very important, and it is throwing a direction and a vector. And this structural thing, and the symmetrical thing suddenly got me into an insight that the Indoscript, which the people are not able to have a breakthrough, it is again having what we call as a great symmetrical disorder. So, when I went into it, I said that, okay, this is, we are pronouncing this letter and this is the symmetry, and I went back to search that this symmetry, is it there, this geometry, is it there. Then slowly by and by I found letter A, B, C, D, and one by one I starting that what the symbols are coming up. Actually these symbols are nothing but they are the biological code, and this biology made me very, very interesting explanation. I was seeing very many videos on the YouTube and internet that there are some islands, Easter Island, Hittite and other places, and the European caves where the first humans, when they were evolving, they were writing, scribbling something on the caves, but they were not a kind of a full script. Let's say they were not like 51 letters of the let's say Sanskrit. So they were just having a few letters here and there, and somewhere in this cave you have 2 letters, somewhere 3 letters, somewhere 5 letters, and maybe at the max you can say some 10 letters. So it was not a plethora of symbols, not like a ABCD sequence. So then I realized that these cave men, these stone men, these Neolithic, Mesolithic people, they also trying their hands on the human biology. Because when they say something like, let's say O, then everybody will write like a O. So whether it's a cave in Europe or it's a place in Easter Island or it's in Hittite, anywhere you find, we are having those kinds of letters. Then I understood the origin of the letter writing and their relationship with the phonation. So this very interesting, I will say, the aspect of human civilization. I will not say even the Hadapan aspect to it, but this is a kind of not only Hadapan civilization, I will call it the first human script, first human language, where we had a plethora of signs. It's not like a caveman and small, they are writing some few letters, but here you find the symbols are in plenty. There are like 400 plus symbols. So it's a very mature script. It is a mature language, it is a mature phonation. So they have found a variety of phonations. They are representing the consonants, it is representing the vowels, and it is representing the syllables. So this is how my biological breakthrough, it happened to solve the Harappan enigma and the conundrum.
As you have gone deeper into the research of the Harappan script, have you found any relevance in the art and script of the Harappan civilization that is going to benefit the medical aspect of the human welfare?
Yeah, that's a very challenging scenario. Actually, time and again when I went through study the Harappan art and script, I found the things of medical relevance. Yes, the most important, I think, human heritage aspect is the delivery system. In one of the seal, it has been shown that during the delivery they identify the umbilical cord, and in the script they write you first identify the umbilical cord like a braided, what we call as a braided and pleated guth, or the band of hairs. The female have that band of hairs, and this braided band of hairs should be identified as the umbilical cord, and at the one of the end of the umbilical cord there is the newborn child, and at the another end is the placenta. So, one side of the seal, Hadapan seal, has shown that there is the newborn child is coming out of the private part of the female lady, and in the very same exact position which humans we use it in the medical profession even till date. That specific position is used for delivery even today. And second side of that same Hadapan artifact tells the delivery of the placenta. Somebody is holding the placenta, and then the same thing is offered to the one of the lady there. She is a deity of that Hadapan times. So, this is shown that you must deliver both the things, and they have written first identified the umbilical cord, and at the one end of the umbilical cord is the newborn, another end is the placenta. You must deliver out both the things. If you leave placenta behind, the consequences is that the mother can die of bleeding and she can have sepsis later on. So, it is very, very important just not cut the umbilical cord and deliver the newborn, but deliver both the things. After cutting, deliver the newborn also, and at the same time deliver the placenta also. So, this is how the rituals were associated and the safe delivery. So, first mankind's medical document, which was around, you can say, 4000 BC, is found in the Hadapan script and art.
Beyond medicine, what all Harappan scripts and artifacts have you decoded till date?
Yeah, the challenge is great because the Harappan civilization has given us around 4500 objects which have the inscriptions on it, with or without art. And the most important object out of them is the Hadapan seal. There are around 3000 plus seals, and out of them 1000 seal they contain one object that what we call the art is of a composite animal. Actually, this composite animal, which many people call it like a dinosaurus, or some call it a mythological animal, and very many names to this, and some call it is just animal which people have made out of something very low thinking or absurd thinking, and and it is something to do with tantra or witchcraft. Somebody they think it is of that dimension. But I was shocked to find when I read the inscriptions on it, and it was mind blowing because they were talking about our ancient first human astronomy. And in that astronomy, they have divided the space and time, and because the very important celestial events we have, where we say there are equinoxes, solstices, and then we divide the sky into various regions, and they have also defined the sky path, what we say as the Akash Marg tradition, and also this study of the sky maps is very, very interesting, and they combined the sky into shapes of various animals, just like elephant and crocodile, snake, and like this. So, this animal, when they combine them together, they symbolically put all these animals into one combo animal to define a specific, very specific deep space trajectory, which they think is leading you towards what we say the kingdom of light, or the divine kingdom, or the kingdom of the immortals. So, this is a very important aspect because 1000 seals out of 3000 plus seals, they contain this art, and this art was not deciphered till today. And I justify all those things because we were not able to read the letters, but now after the letters I can really say that yes, this is the thing related with the astronomy, and the cosmological aspects have opened a new one door to me, because you can define this cosmology based on the Vedic cosmology, some of the aspects like Jainism cosmology, and some of the aspects of it are linked to the Tantra cosmology. So this one of the aspect make me sure that at that time our Harappan culture was of mixed sects. There is I know many times we go into the discussion, no, Harappan peoples are X, they are Y, they are Z, and everybody is kind of proved their own might. But I may say they were very happily linking together a mix of sects. There were Vedic people, there were Jainism going on there, and there was Tantra tradition going on there, and there was also the Adi Shakti, Adi Ma, Amma culture going on there. So all these sects were pulled together and they were living together. So this is very, very important aspect of Harappan art, which I have found through the inscription. Number 2, very challenging scenario, the 3 Americans, they have made us about a $10,000 prize to read a seal which contains no art at all. That is the biggest challenge I have found, because there are 3 lines and there are pure Harappan inscriptions. And I am proud to say that they are not about which we were thinking they will be around some business going on, how many woods they have cut, or how many gold coins they are taking, or how many silver coins they are taking. So people were thinking they will be writing about the trade. But I will say I am proud they are not talking about the trade, but they are talking about one festivity which connects exactly to the Vaishnav tradition. So it is the Vaishnav sect was also there. So this is the proof in that seal that they are having a festivity related to the Vaishnavism. And then comes apart from the Vaishnav, one of the inscription which we call as Pillaidas. They are telling about the birthday of Kartikeya. And Kartikeya is itself has grown into a independent sect. In Indian tradition, we know even later on kingdoms like Gupta period, they were having Kartikeya as their main deity. So Kartikeya sect has evolved very strongly. So one of the seal which we used to call as a Pleiades seal has given the inscription, and they talk about the Kartikeya tradition. Then the Shaiv tradition. Shaiv traditions, I have found these traditions related events. And one of the seal, what we call very interesting, challenging seal, is the Pashupati seal. Pashupati seal, we were thinking that is it a proto Shiva, or is it just a man sitting there and doing yoga in samadhi with some animals around? We call them Pashupati. But you will be shocked to know that these 3 heads, they were very well even identified some 90 years before the British East India Company. At that time it was not the British Crown, but we were ruled by the East India Company. In that time they released a coin, and this coin, silver coin, was released, and one side of the coin it shows the 3-headed personality there. And even in fact, they removed the ambiguity. East India Company has released the name also. In silver they have written the name Dat Guru. So Dat Guru name has been written in that coin, and same 3-headed person. And if you find in that coin, there are 5 animals sitting around him, and the same after 90 years, the Britishers, they again found the same kind of 3-headed person wearing a triple headgear, a combined triple headgear, and this male personality is sitting right there. And it is very, very easy to identify, because now if you go with that British coin and go with this British seal, both things come together, they join as, yes, this is nothing but the Guru Dutt Tantra tradition, which actually is also a kind of Vaishnav tradition, where we combine all 3 important cardinal Hindu pantheon deities like Brahma, Vishnu and Rudra or Mahesh. The Vedic people call more on the Rudra part of the Shiva. So this all combined, integrated, which we call at the seed stage of these deities, the seed stage of the deity power, is very well documented in the Pashupati seal. And then this opens up to a very challenging inscription, where I found the mantra the one of the Pashupati, the figure, yoga figure is sitting there and the mantra is written, and I was shocked to know that that same mantra which I have decoded is still followed today by the sect, Guru Dutt sect. Even today the same mantra, they worship through the same mantra and they worship the same principle. And in the next object of interest is the first Hadapan seal, which I call as the Mason Cunningham seal, because you know Mason was a East India Company employee. He resigned from the company and he went independently to Punjab. At that time Punjab was not under British rule. He went there and he inquired, and then he got his hands on a seal, and he has not dug it himself, he got it already, somebody gave him. It is not documented who actually was the source for that seal, but Mason got that seal, and after few years he gave the seal to Cunningham, because Cunningham was doing the the research at that area about the civilization. And in that seal, you will be surprised to know the inscriptions which are written, they are very well documented in our culture, and that very well propounded by Vivekananda. He say, rise, awake and rest not till the goal is achieved. And this Vedic kind of thought, the concept is documented in that seal, and I found 7 other seals. In my video in YouTube, it is details are there. 7 other seals, the same message is given, and this message is repeated again and again. So I am very proud to say that in this seal, majority of the seals, as I told you, 1000 seals out of 3000 contain this composite celestial combined animal, and so they are talking about our heritage, they are talking about the divinity. So they are not talking about the just like Mesopotamia seals, they talk about the business, that how many trades we are doing, what we are trading. They are talking about divinity. So Harappan objects, it is so enchanting, they are full of divinity. So this effort, I think, is very well bring our first human mind. So now I know why they were so peaceful, why people say we are not finding so many arrows, so many bows, so many killings around, or the scarred skeleton, or the crushed skeleton, or the war signs there, because these people were time and again, Hadapan seals were found in each and every you can say house of the city, of the walled structure. So this is a very, very important culture. So everybody who was, whether you are rich or you are a poor guy, you having that seal, you are having that culture, you are having that divinity. So this aspect of Hadapan living is an early, I will say, human civilization as such, with which concept they were actually living around and trading and doing business. And even these seals which they were taking out for the trade, they also have the same emblem of this unicorn, and they wanted to spread this message. See, look up to the sky and try to achieve the divinity. Don't just do the material things on earth, but look up in the sky and try, and you just try to find the mystery in the deep in the sky and try to explore the divinity there.
Well, Dr. Gupta, your findings, research has been now known as Dr. Gupta's Harappan Code. So in which way will it, can it benefit the modern society?
More than one way. First thing, very, very important, I will say, again for the medical aspect I will cover, the brain has 4 kind of stimulations when we talk of a structure or a script. First, our brain recognize how you are designing it, how you are making it. It is the only language on earth where it is exactly symmetrical words are there, because our tongue, it moves in a symmetrical way. It is not that my tongue is moving on left direction or right direction, or it is twisted or turned and it is asymmetrical. All the phonation happen in a symmetrical way. So when we see the symmetry, the geometry and symmetrical things around yours, one of the part of your brain is stimulated. Second part of the brain is stimulated when it sees the social aspect of it. Third brain is center is stimulated, what we say as the prefrontal cortex, which sees the spiritual aspect of it. So this is a very, very important, what we call as a quadra thinking. It stimulates 4 center of your brain. So this is the only language, in fact, if you speak out biologically, which stimulate your structure center, social center, spiritual center and your what we call as a reasoning center. So it stimulates all the 4 centers. And if I say it is a very good rehabilitation techniques, if you find some adult or child or an elderly person who has the problems with this center and who has the I will say the problems, who have the problems of picking up the language or script or learning problems, or then we can stimulate their brain, all the 4 aspects of the brain, what we call as the quadra thinking. Quadra means 4. So quadra thinking can be stimulated by this. That is the one biological aspect of the what we can do with this language today. And another aspect is we can use this for what we say robotics. Very, very important is then, because robotic movements, whatever we make any structure for phonation, if we tomorrow have robots who talk to you by their own, we can make that physical aspect like tongue and all those structures we can make, and they can really create the phonation. If things are symmetrical, it is very easy to create those things. So robotic phonation, I will say, if it will ever happen, this script will be the best suitable, because this is even the mother of the Sanskrit. So whatever we use, we use binary system, we use other system which were very good for computation. This can be much better used in a much better way with the Hadapan script. So it is much better than Sanskrit in that aspect. Their grammar and structuring is is evolved in a much better way. It is much suitable for a computer language. And not only that, if I go beyond that, for intergalactic travel, when it will become possible. Now you are thinking, we are able to go to another planets. One time will come when we will be, if we are talking of going to moon, we are talking of going to Mars, and one time will come when we will be talking of going from one galaxy to another galaxy maybe. And or we are going to find artificial intelligence when we are launching things in the outer space, in the deep space probes. Even till now we are writing some language, we say we are writing English, so that if somebody picks up, we are sending the signals. But if you send a symmetrical signal, it is very much easy to say that it is made by some artificial intelligence. So these script and the signals, the communication you can do, what I call as intergalactic communication, this script is best suitable for the intergalactic communication. And tomorrow you want to connect some, what I say, intergalactic intelligence there in the deep space. The very best language you can choose is the Hadapan script.
Having gathered so much of knowledge about the Harappan script, Dr. Gupta, how are you taking this forward for the benefit of the civilizations, future civilizations?
Hadapan art and script is a thing of great beauty and joy. I may tell you, decoding is just a mind-blowing and very intricate thing. So the biggest challenge is I want to integrate it with digital know-how, so that it is available for all the people around the globe, because Hadapan objects are lying there in India, in Pakistan, in museums of Italy, and in British Museum, and you name a place on earth. Everybody will have some or the other Hadapan object, which actually essentially they are eager to decode and know the secret, that how these people were able to do. And I may tell you, they are in very, very integrate dimension from what I will say, not they are talking about the earth, but they are looking high up in the sky and they have decoded the divinity. So that aspect is very challenging, and here comes the secret that I want to create a software. So if somebody is sitting in the Louvre Museum, in the British Museum, they have 300 Hadapan objects and they want to decode them. So there will be a software, just like Google has done a software called Fabricius for Egyptian script. So what I want for the Indus script, once we type it, I have created a keyboard. So that keyboard design is already I have created. We create a digital keyboard, and when you do the digital input, these same letters they go, and then I have compounded with the my know-how of whatever I have, digital, what I say, the compendium, Hadapan script compendium is there. So it will choose, it will select, it will give you choices, and it will give the interpretation also, which I have done or other people have done. So we will have a resource a compendium how these things have been interpreted till date and also by me. All the info will go there, digital info. So we choose, we go on adding, and if somebody use it in Louvre Museum, British Museum, they also give their input. So we have plethora of information, know-how about the Harappan civilization, you know, from all over the globe. So I want to create a keyboard, I want to create a compendium, digital compendium, and I also you know, create a what we say digital input. Either you, if you click a photograph of a seal and the inscription is written on it, the art on it, it should come digitally, and then optically by optical devices method the input will go into the system, and our software, what I call as the Adi Manu. So just like Google have named it Fabricius, I have nicknamed it as Adi Manu. So this project I think will give us an upper hand to understand the first human civilization script, the first human art, the first human medicine, the first human festivity, and the first human understanding of the religion and the divinity, and the very first, I will say, human kings and their administration, because this very challenging aspect now make me understand that how the Harappan civilization, the Trimurti is there in Harappa, it is the same thing is there in Mohenjo-daro, then we found it in Kalibanga, we found it in Ganeriwala, we found it in Mehergarh. So these inscriptions they had now tells us, no, these things are together. Now we were surprised that how the same brick, you know, same dimension, the brick 1:2:4, same bricks are used all over the Harappan civilization, right from India, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, even you will find the same kind of, you know, similar bricks are found, and same kind of culture was there which we were not able to answer. And now yes, with these understandings, and we were always fighting, you know, where thinking whether it is Vedic, non-Vedic, this thing, and it's only we were going to stamp it only for one sect. No, it was a combined civilization. It was, I will say, a very beautiful, like a bouquet of a flower, where you have different flowers all together, and they were living happily, because everybody, the main aim of human civilization was how to move from darkness to divinity. That's the message.
Dr. Gupta, you have opened a very interesting window for the people to understand our ancient knowledge, and which is going to be very useful for the future also. Thank you very much for being with us at Rendezvous, Outlook Rendezvous. Thank you once again.